We are only 4 days away from the first race of the season for the NASCAR Pinty Series, which will take place at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, and CANrace has you covered. Coming up, we'll take a look at what's new for the show for this year, also an update on some of the top storylines for the Pinty Series, a look at this weekend's schedule, and a sit-down interview with defending champion Cayden Lapcevich. That's all coming up. Hello everyone and welcome to CANrace. I'm your host Bryce Turner. It's time now for the CTMP pre-race show where I'll first introduce Steven Ellis, who will be one of my new co-workers here at CANrace, who will be one of my co-hosts and camera people for this season, alongside as well Cayden Lapcevich, who you'll see later this season. And let's talk some of the storylines. Well, how about we introduce yourself first?
I'm Steven Ellis. I'm a television host in the GTA. My main sport's hockey, but I've been a racing fan since birth. I raced for years myself and still kind of do sim racing and still follow pretty much every level of racing possible.
So let's talk about some of the major headlines heading into the season. One of them, DJ Clarington, who made his Cup debut running a few races over the off-season, and he's going to be mentoring a driver. He'll be back full-time. Armani Williams will make his debut with CBRT, Canada's best racing team. He's a championship kart racer who also has experience in the ARCA Truck Series and NASCAR Drive for Diversity. An interesting note about him, he also has autism spectrum disorder, so Clarington will be assisting with Williams' efforts as far as technical insight and race car preparation. So we've got another new name coming to this series.
Yeah, I love that Clarington is helping out a Rebel team because CBRT they're a good team. They've got they do have some funding. They've had a bunch of drivers come in and out, and to see Williams kind of doing a 6-race oval schedule, and to see again to have a guy like Clarington who has raced in the Daytona 500 and is racing full time and has been a veteran in the series. It's really big to kind of see him mentor him.
It's always good to see different names enter the series, and so we'll see him in the different oval events. Now, we have a one-off driver that we'll have for 22 Racing, driving Scott Steckley's famous 22 car, and that's Trucks regular Christopher Bell in the opener.
Yeah, Christopher Bell, he's won at Eldora, and he's been really competitive in the Truck Series the last few years, and last year was kind of a up and down year, but this year I think he's got a real chance of winning the championship. And for him to do this race, we've kind of seen in the last couple of years, we've seen, I believe, Jeb Burton did the CTMP race. We've seen Kaz Grala do it, and now we're going to see Christopher Bell kind of getting ready for a road course because this is a dirt guy. He's not used to racing on the road courses. And when you go to somewhere like Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, it's a completely different animal than racing at Eldora or racing at Daytona. So you need to get ready for it. So I think this is a smart decision, and he's working for a really good team with that.
Yes, that's right. 22 Racing, a championship caliber team. They'll be strong contenders, so that will certainly help Bell not only get experience, but get some good experience at the track. And how about Dumoulin competition with brothers LP and JF? They both have 2-year sponsorship extensions coming, so Spectra Premium has re-signed for 2 years with JF Dumoulin, who will run at least 10 races this season, and with a new Spectra Premium radiator, and also LP Dumoulin, where WeatherTech Canada extended for 2 years for his full-time effort. So that team's really starting to come along.
Yeah, because Dumoulin, he doesn't get talked a lot about when you compare it to the likes of DJ Clarington and Alex Tagliani and Andrew Ranger, but let's not forget Dumoulin is champion of this sport. And to see Dumoulin be as good as he is, and to have the WeatherTech sponsor him, because WeatherTech's a great company for racing. They sponsor the WeatherTech Sports Car Series, so they're really involved in it, and that's great to see. And to see his brother, he's a road course ace, and to see him put 10 races, it's good to see him out on pretty much the full schedule this year.
And that team who started running their own team last year, they struggled at first but have been gaining some momentum and the help of sponsorship for sure. Jason Hathaway, he said at Kawartha that he'd be retiring from full-time Pinty's racing. He will be back, though, but only for 3 races, running the 2 road course events at CTMP, and he's also going to be running one of the oval races at his old Delaware track, and we'll try to speak to them as well before that event. So Hathaway will be back.
Yeah, and to see Hathaway do both the CTMP races, that's great. He's a winner there, and I think overall that he's going to be good in the 3 races he does, because they're going to put the money towards it to make sure that he's competitive. And yeah, he's not doing full time, which is a shame because he's a fantastic driver and he's great with the fans. That's one thing he's kind of a fan favorite there. But I think he'll be very competitive in all 3 races he does, and he likes Delaware, so that's 3 chances for him to win. And if he pulls off the 3, hey, that's pretty big. So
yeah. I don't think he'll decide to run more races though, although that would be cool. But
I think he may want to come back.
Yeah. May want to, but I think he even sold one of his cars. But yeah, Hathaway, most popular driver the last 2 seasons, and plenty of other storylines. Adam Martin, who will be running for the rookie campaign. Alex Tagliani with Lowe's is a new sponsor. He'll also be only the second team to try out this new Spectra Premium radiator, and plenty of other headlines. Wyant Group Raceway in Saskatoon's having a twin feature event as well. Circuit iCar moving to the Saturday, Delaware returning to replace Sunset, and Sherry Putnam replacing Alex Nagy as the series director. So lots of changes, but lots to look forward to at CTMP this weekend. Something else that's new this year for CANrace is that we'll have weekly shows. Tune in each Wednesday for a new edition, plus we'll have post-race editions after select race weekends. And now moving on to take a look at more storylines, as we were telling you about some. Now here's a look at some more, and we have some photos too. First, a new sponsorship for Simone Dionvay. Dionvay will be sponsored by Castrol Canada in 5 events this season. As you take a look at his paint scheme there, he'll be driving the number 25 for Canada's best racing team in the 4 Quebec races and the 1 event in Nova Scotia. He will also be a brand ambassador for the company, Castrol Canada. Next, we take a look at the new paint scheme for JF Dumoulin with Spectra Premium. You see the colors blue and white. Those are different compared to the yellow and white colors that we saw last year on the 04 Dodge. And the company, as mentioned, has renewed for 2 years with the team. Meanwhile, Gary Clute will be sponsored again this season by Pioneer Family Pools. Pioneer Family Pools is teaming up with the Canadian Cancer Society for Spas for a Cause. For every $5 donation, people can get a ballot to win this pink hot tub shown here with Gary Clute. Visit sposforacause.ca for more on that. And the big developing news coming from last night is the NASCAR Next class was revealed for the 2017 to 18 season. One of those NASCAR Next drivers is defending champ Cayden Lapcevich. Lapcevich follows Gary Clute, who was a NASCAR Next member last year. NASCAR Next highlights up-and-coming drivers who show potential and a goal of reaching NASCAR's highest level, and showcases NASCAR's promising drivers there, so Cayden Lapcevich again will be a member of NASCAR Next this year. Last year, then 16-year-old Cayden Lapcevich had a fairy tale season, running with limited funding for his family team. Cayden won 3 races and the series championship. Ahead of this season, Cayden sat down with CANrace at his race shop. During the off-season, you've been down to Charlotte, and you've also been going to high school. How has the off-season been?
It's been long and busy. It's kept us on our toes from, preparing race cars to, my last year at high school and trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life next year and stuff. So it's been busy, but it's the exciting part of life, and it's a time that I'm really looking forward to and hoping that it evolves even deeper for my career.
It's certainly a lot of work splitting between classes, homework, and working on the car. How would you juggle both those 2 things?
I know that to be able to go racing and to be at the race shop to work on race cars, I know that all my grades got to be good, and I got to be on top of my classes and stuff. So I try and do as much as I can at school and at home before we go to the race shop. Just managing it's hard, but I got to make do with it if I want to go racing.
What did people at school think when they found out you won the championship?
A lot of people were really interested, especially kids that I've been growing up with all my life. They found it really neat because, they saw me bring my first quarter midget to school for show and tell or whatever they called it, and all the kids sat in it and thought it was really cool, and I had a race car birthday party and all the kids sat in the Pinty's car and stuff. So when I was 8, so all the kids that I really grew up with and were gearheads and motor addicts all found it really cool and were really interested and wanted to talk about it quite a bit, actually.
Did you do show and tell with the trophy?
Yeah, I did actually, but it was for during the Terry Fox run. They asked me to come and bring the car and the trophy after the Kawartha race and just sort of show it off and show what we accomplished.
And I remember you telling me at Kawartha that you'd be doing some snowboarding over the winter. How was that?
It was a lot of fun. Me and my brother actually got the opportunity to go out to Colorado to visit my cousin who lives out there and snowboard out in the Rocky Mountains and stuff. So it was a lot of fun and a really cool experience.
Sponsorship has been a concern with your team running last year with limited funding. What is the sponsorship situation heading into this season?
It's almost the same as last year, but we're still working hard. We have some good leads, some headed in the right direction and stuff, but it's all about finding that right person who's interested in the sport and stuff. So, I think we're working in the right direction. I think we have some good opportunities, and we just got to close some things and see what happens with it. But I know we're committed to go to the first couple races, and then we'll just see where it goes from there.
And the season opener is coming up this weekend at CTMP. Following your podium finish in the last race in September, how confident are you in your road racing experience?
I feel really good going into CTMP. It's just a track that my dad's had a lot of success at and was able to really give me a lot of pointers and tips going into there. So, going road racing there is a place where I feel more confident about my road racing than any other road course we go to. So I know last year we ran good. We had a good long run car and we were able to run up front for most of the race. And, in testing a couple days ago, we were fast and consistent on old tires and a cold track. So I'm really excited to see what it brings and, hopefully can better our position by a couple spots.
Now for a look at this weekend's schedule for the opening race at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. And rather than having 2 practice sessions, as you see there's only 1 practice, but it will be an hour long, taking place at 12:15 Eastern on Saturday. Group qualifying will be on deck at 4 o'clock Saturday, and of course the race itself, 1 o'clock Sunday, it's the Can-Am 200. And that will do it for this week's edition of CANrace. Tune in to our coverage this weekend at CTMP. You can follow us on social media and check back here on YouTube. Have a great day.